Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Welcome to Baku, Azerbaijan. I am Curtis Kenyon. With me tonight is Austin Knight. How you doing, man?
Howdy, howdy. Glad to be here in Azerbaijan with you today.
Yeah, no, this is F1 for America, rounding out the AOR weekend. We started off the weekend with some RF2 action yesterday, morning time for me, but yeah. F1 2018 action started, well, I guess technically this morning with Oceania, and we're rounding it all off with some America action. Honestly, Austin, this is going to be one of those races that is either awesome or, well, not.
It can be a result of either 2016 Baku or 2017 Baku, or a mixture of both, as in 2018 Baku. If going by real life standards, not a lot can happen during the race, and also a lot can happen during the race. You just got to get the right enough drivers who want to push that fine edge of risk and reward.
As the track info comes up here, that's right, round 4 here at Baku for season 16 of the AOR Hype Energy Championships. Of course, a temporary course. This is obviously a street course, going around probably one of the hardest sets of corners around Castle Corner. Been on the calendar here for a couple of years. Used to be the European GP as well.
Yes, originally introduced as the European GP, Baku features the longest straight in all the calendar at 2.2 kilometers, but it's also all flat out from turn 16 all the way through turn 20, so part of that's not considered a straight, but whenever you're full throttle in an F1 car, it's considered a straight.
Pretty much, yeah. And 340 kilometers an hour we should be expecting to see. The tire strategy will become extremely apparent, too. We do need to kind of talk about this. Seen people go with a 2-tire setup, as we watch a little bit of a replay here. The pile-up in F1 esports. Yeah, Castle Corner is just going to be insane. But honestly, this tire strategy will be extremely important. If you are frying your tires up or you're spinning out a lot, you're going to be having massive issues later on in the race, as well as the variety of different types of corners. There you go. Soft, ultra soft, and super softs are available. We'll go into the hot lap to give you an idea as to what this track is like here in just a moment.
Hello and welcome to the Baku City Circuit in Azerbaijan as we go on board with the Ferrari around one of the newest tracks on the F1 calendar. Arriving at turn 1 now at over 340 kph and moving as far right as possible to open up the corner, braking just before the 100-meter board and down to third gear. Keep the cards to the right-hand side as we barrel down toward the second of 3 90-degree lefts that make up the majority of Sector 1. We want to focus on having a good exit here as it's a long run down to turn 3, a corner where we expect to see lots of battling this weekend. Again, you'll spot your braking on the right-hand side and just before the 100-meter board, making use of third gear once again, but quickly moving over to the left-hand side to open up the 90-degree right at the end of Sector 1. Now it's just a short sprint and a few gear changes down to the chicane of turns 5 and 6, using third at the entrance here, but dropping to second gear for the exit. And then it's a slightly longer sprint as we get into the castle section of Sector 2. Turn 7 really isn't an overtaking location despite the heavy braking into it from 6th gear right down to second. Another dash to the next series of corners where you'll need full commitment as you flash between the barriers in third gear, staying to the left at the exit to open turn 11 and more importantly turn 12, as now it's full throttle through 13 and 14 as we climb over the highest point of the circuit and begin the descent into the tricky turn 15. Braking before the 50-meter board and being careful to avoid the barrier at corner exit is the best strategy as you position yourself for the most important corner on the circuit. Braking around 80 meters and down to third gear for the final time during this lap, the focus is now on avoiding oversteer or wheel spin and setting yourself up for the best finish to the lap and the best start to the next lap. 18 and 19 are easy flat in 2018 with the DRS detection at the apex of turn 20, and then keep that foot buried as it's a straight shot to the finish line. That is a lap of Baku. Best of luck to everyone racing this weekend on PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox in Apex Online Racing.
And so with that, we move into qualifying. 15 minutes here. A little bit of a short stretch to figure out who's going to be the fastest, who's going to start on the pole. Very important here at Baku.
Yes, it is. Qualifying, and it is especially important here at Baku. Turn 1 is very notorious for causing a few incidents, as well as turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20.
So, all of them.
The entire track.
Yeah, just saying. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. No, see, I'm picking up what you're throwing down there. Look at this, though. Some idiot already thrown down a 137.6. To give you guys some idea as to just how fast that is, the R Factor 2 guys yesterday morning threw down a 138. It was a low 138, but yeah, that is very fast. And some idiot now coming into the pits now.
Speaking of other drivers in the championship, we had a certain banning of one of the other Ferrari drivers, Analyst. So if anyone's wondering where he's at, he's gone.
He has been released from the series, unfortunately.
Yes, yeah. So now the fight at the top is between some idiot and Spider, I believe.
I believe so. Spider's still in the pits at this point.
Yes, speaking of other drivers, last KZR Racing, while we were doing our intro, had a little bit of an incident and retired with a wall. Speaking of walls, Spider, during his hot lap, ran into a few walls, and that's why he's in the pits.
Looks like Mud is back. Hopefully he'll be able to stay for the whole race, as he had some issues last time, if I remember correctly. Honestly, you know, as much as a lot of people give this track a hard time, it really is a driver's track. You do have to properly go around it, and any mistake made is pretty much punished almost immediately.
Yes, it is. Especially in the rain. Oh, speaking of that, Z-Womp just locked up his wheel and went straight into the wall. I don't know if that was on your screen, but I was watching Z-Womp's lap right there. And
yeah. No, I had him on, but I clicked away to fix something real quick, and he just barely missed it. He's stuck in the wall.
Yeah, he's stuck on turn 5 wall right there with 10 minutes to go. He's already set a lap of 142, 147. I don't know if he's going to stay there, but just as we were saying, it is a driver's track, and it takes any sort of mistake and punishes that. There's a good example. Any small lockup, and in turn 1, Lundqvist is actually in the wall and is missing a wheel as well. I thought Z Mikey was gonna hit him a bit, but no.
We're actually having a look at Intergalactic Gentleman, who is the manager of the lobby, and generally a good guy. Yeah. You have to butter up the guy who makes the lobby, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah. So we're just having a look and see how he's doing at this point. You said we had Z Mikey out. Spider is in the pits now. Yeah, that's pretty much all that's out except for Fluffy Dave and Mud. Everybody out on outlets at this point.
I believe Z Mikey was on a flying lap until he went through Lundqvist's ghost car. And so this might be a secondary lap, but he's weaving all over the track. I don't know if that's oversteer related or just trying to warm up the tires related, but he is on a flyer lap, I believe. coming around to turn 16 right now, entering sector 3 at 120. So this is going to be a sprint to the line, and I believe this will put him up there in the 140s.
Let's see just how fast he's able to go. Going on board. DRS is on. Third board at this point. 342 miles an hour, or kph, I'm sorry. Hello? American?
Howdy, howdy.
Shoot.
But that put Mikey up there in 6th at a 140.915 on the super soft tires. Now, we are seeing a few guys go on the super soft tires and trying them out. Fluffy Dave's also on the super soft tires right now. If you were driving, what would your strategy be? Would you go on the longer stint tires first, then onto the softs for that one stop, the safe one stop, or would you go from ultra softs to softs?
Personally, it would be ultra softs to softs. That's more of a personal preference to me because I'd much rather try to get ahead of as many people as I can and then work my way through the field with less fuel on the tires that last a little bit longer. That's more of a personal preference to myself, but it really comes down to how the track would end up rubbering in. I have seen people go with a two-stop strategy, just ultra soft, run the super softs, then go back to ultra softs, but you'd have to have quite a lead or just a huge gap to make that work. Kind of tough to do, to be honest with you, but I'm more of a fan of just putting the softer tire on first. It's more of a personal thing. Now, I know a lot of people would like to run the super softs first, run as long as you can, and then throw the ultras on for the end.
Yeah, that does sound like a good reference to have the quickest start as possible. But you did mention saying the two-stop, you had to have quite a lead. Look at the qualifying difference from some idiot to Kingy AV. I mean, Fluffy Dave.
Yeah.
It just switched. It was 2 seconds. Now it's an entire second. Well, almost an entire second now. 0.8, I believe, is the gap. Yes, it is. From first to second place. But that's just raw pace right there from some idiot. And that just shows you why he is in the fight for the championship right now. As we do have a message from Lundquist Rowe. He disengaged his pit limiter, touched the inside wall outside the pit exit, and his left front was off, so hate to see that happen in qualifying. Hopefully your race is better. As look in the background, look at Sakith. Sakith just went straight off, reversed onto the track. I believe that's turn 3, right?
Looks
yes,
like it. Yeah, he's able to recover though.
Yeah, I just saw his Toro Rosso just go straight on, and that, yeah,
that's a thing. Another thing, honestly, that's one of the other dangers of Baku. It's so easy to lock up, and there is not much room for error. You really have to nail those apexes, nail those braking points, and if you don't, you're going to end up pretty much either in a wall or having to reverse back onto the track, which is dangerous in and of itself. Also, if you're trying to race someone and trying to outbrake them, good luck. And you better hope you're on the outside.
Yeah, I've seen so many cases where the guy on the inside charges up the inside, misses braking point, thinks, oh, I'm going to do a Denny Rick, send it up the inside, and he just goes straight into the wall. And not only does he take himself out, he takes out the guy he's racing as well. So you might see that in turn 3 a lot, and into turn 1 like we did with Red Bull in real life this year, where they had a little bit of a miscommunication racing incident, and that happened. But also, some might say that going side by side throughout this track is a suicide note, and as somebody who watched that earlier today in the F2 series, that was certainly the case. No collisions between them, but their paces went downhill.
And not only that, I mean, you're trying to go around a street circuit. Street circuits are notoriously narrow. You just have to be really careful in where you attack someone. And if you're able to get the jump on someone going into a corner, that someone needs to give that room. And if they don't, then guess what? You're both crashing. And if you don't trust that someone, you better make sure you can get them on an exit and onto a long straightaway. Just gotta make sure you're careful, honestly, for all parties involved.
Speaking of the long straightaway, at the end of the race, you might be seeing some drag races happening throughout the race, but at the end of the race, if we do have a front wing to gearbox racing, as we've seen throughout all AOR races today, I'm pretty sure the Xbox F2 race was the most amazing one I've seen. It was a side-by-side photo finish, and we had that in the PC F2 race as well. Multiple races today had that, where it was just a drag race, and we saw the guy behind him just always having the pace to go around him, but he just never did, and he waited to that very final moment to make that overtake. So we might be seeing that here with a little bit strategic positioning going on near the last lap for that drag racing overtake.
Huh. Lundqvist Bro actually ran into, looks like a bit of a glitch, possibly. I'm reading the chat right now. Game tried to reset him for some odd reason. Not really supposed to do that, but it's alright. Well, that'll get fixed or assessed, I'm sure.
That's a first. Yeah, I was reading his message.
Kind of an odd one, right? I don't think I've heard of that one before. Have a look at Frankie here on the Hype Energy.
As some idiot retires from the session. I believe that was a manual retire with 1:34 to go.
Yep.
We're in the closing minutes, so anyone who retires now is just, they just aren't happy with their lap. So where's Frankie? Oh, he's in 10th.
Yeah. I just wanted to show some Hype Energy.
Ah. Plug the stream a bit.
You know, just,
what
a save!
Whoa.
Fantastic save there. Yeah, I got to applaud that one for sure. Honestly, keeping it in between the walls like that was very, very well done. Someone's been running some sprint cars lately.
Yeah. Yeah, Frankie. Very, very skillful of him to keep it out of the wall. He's got to be hyped for that, because he's got another lap to go on. Or is he going into this? Yeah, he is. So
call it.
He's already done a lap, but certainly pleased to be up there running in 10th right now. As let's go on to Intergalactic Gentleman in the Haas. I believe he's on his out lap, but he's running extremely. Oh, he's missing his entire front wing. Yeah. Yeah, he is. His front left wing is just a plank of wood, honestly, as he's returning, limping to the pit box. Yeah. But someone who's not limping at all is Fluffy Dave, sitting in 2nd place right now. Does he have the pace to get into P1? He is on his flying lap, going through turn 19 and 20 right now. And he is looking a bit on pace as he enters the front straight. We're going to see a new pole. Ooh, just barely missed out on top spot, but he did chop that lead down to some idiot to 0.245 seconds from the Toro Rosso driver.
Looks like he is also on a flying lap, trying to improve a little bit. Just passing the castle turns.
Yes, he is. He's going into turn 13 right now. All these are little tiny flicks of the wheel. Hard on the brakes heading into turn 15. A little bit of lockup in the front left. Had a little, do a bit of overcorrection on the exit. Entering turn 16, taking that as gracefully as possible for the best exit. Heading in through 18. Now 19. Miss, almost kisses the wall. Enters 20, this soft flick. And onto the straight. And it's our last lap of the day, and he is looking on pace. Hello. Woo! That was a blistering lap. Bit of sparks entering his is McLaren as he gets third. Which he was in third already, wasn't he?
Yes.
Nice. All right, well, here is your qualifying results. It's some idiot taking pole, followed by Fluffy Dave on the front row with them, which I believe it's Fluffy Dave's first front row, is it?
I believe so. I honestly can't look right now.
All right, well, congrats to Fluffy Dave for getting front row. He's followed by Kingy AV and Mud in fourth.
Good
Spider
show.
and Triton in the row behind him, followed by Mikey and Intergalactic Gentleman. And I just took way too long there.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Couldn't get the screenshot on that one, but I'm going to load in to the race itself.
So we can cover them there.
Just got to wait for all the players to load in. Want to welcome everyone in, as I actually have a chance to catch up with a couple of things on my side to try to hopefully get this internet to actually work properly. Yes, we have a new internet provider, unfortunately, over here, and was having some issues yesterday morning, making sure that we're still connected. But for some reason, it seems to be a little bit worse with this game. Well, I'll do what I can, of course, but we shall see.
Well, we are all waiting for everyone to get in their cars, really, and get ready for this race. But oh, here we are.
Oh, here we are.
Shows everyone wasn't connected for me, but you know, as they're all pulling away on their formation lap, let's take a look at the tires that these guys will be starting on. 11th down, all starting on the Super Soft tires. Z Mikey is starting on the Super Softs as well, and he is in P7. Everybody else starting on the Ultras, as a bit of disqualifications are being handed out on the formation lap. Doesn't mean they're disqualified from the race, they're just disqualified from driving around the track and warming up the tires.
Yeah, they got to start from the pits, if I'm correct.
No, they're just starting on the grid. They're just ghosted.
Oh, that's weird.
It's not our factor, too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good point. This is the problem when you're trying to commentate on a variety of different games. It kind of starts to blend together a little bit.
Yes, they all certainly do, unless you're just entirely commentating on something different. And thank goodness this isn't Overwatch, so I don't have to worry about that.
We're just watching some idiot go around this track, and
But I didn't really finish the lineup, so let's do that right now. As I said, some idiot is leading off the race, followed by Fluffy Dave and Kingy AV right behind him. Behind Kingy is Mud H2O, and he's followed by the championship contender of Spider, who is down in 5th. It's Triton is in 6th. Z Mikey is in 7th, and Intergalactic Gentleman is in 8th. Z-Womp is in 9th, followed by Pranky, and Statith is in 11th, followed by Lundquist in 12th, who had that issue during qualifying.
yeah.
Max KZR Racing is right behind them in 13th, and Sharkbait 98 sitting in 14th and at the back of the grid as they're all lining up and getting ready to go. Buckle your seatbelts, everybody, because it's going to be a wild ride here in Azerbaijan. Yes, here we go. So it's 5 red lights, and away they go for round 4 in the Hype Energy American F1 League. So it looks like Fluffy Dave gets a bit held up by Kingy AV. It's 3 wide, and look at the Ferrari and the Haas and the Renault, all in the background. Massive collision for Mikey, Lundquist, and Sharkbait 98. I don't know who that Ferrari was, but it looks like Mikey, he just went off into that little runoff area. But crazy, chaotic first turn, like we were talking about just before this race. It's happened immediately. Mud gets a good jump on Kingy AV throughout that incident. Fluffy Dave remained a bit unscathed, but Spider did not have the best of starts as he was caught up in there, and he's fallen down 3 places along with Itch Triton. But the biggest loser, as some might say, would be Mikey. But as they're all pulling away, Fluffy Dave and some idiot chasing down throughout the castle section. Hopefully they're all keeping it single file and crystal clear and neat through this. No incidents so far yet, and it looks like we are clear through it. So, woo, 1 lap unscathed.
1 lap unscathed, yes. That's before the tires get warm and the car starts to feel a little bit better under the seats. That's when people get a little bit more antsy and a little bit more brave, if you will. And some bravery is definitely going to be needed as this race wears on. 26 laps around Baku can be the most harrowing of any race car driver.
Yes, it is. On board with Kingy AV as we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. I don't know who that is, but look at Kingy closing in on Mud. Will there be a move into the first turn? No, there isn't, but he is sitting behind, just primed for that overtake on the straights. DRS not available for Kingy AV as yellow flags in Sector 3 are just going all over the place. What is going on there?
Might as well take a look at that. We're going to have a look at Kingy and his point of view. We got Fluffy Dave and Mud in front of him. Mud just trying to chase down Dave, and Kingy doing a good job just hanging up in the slipstream. A little bit of the wash there of Mud, but he catches up nicely as Mud had to brake early for the chicane. Coming up here on the castle section of the track. This could
Castle
be a little bit hairy. We'll see if Fluffy Dave can keep it together. It looks like he's getting a little bit sideways, but that could just be a little bit of a disconnect on my end. Oh yeah, he did hit the wall.
Got into the wall. Fluffy Dave is out of this race, and I don't know if his car being parked there will spawn a safety car or not. The spawn rate was said to be improved, but hopefully he doesn't intrude on anyone else's.
Yeah, it just went ghost.
There.
Spider just went right through him.
All right. Well, thankfully, no one else's race was caught up by that incident, but tough race for Fluffy Dave. First race on the start, on the front row, and after that spectacular performance he had last race, oh, that's just tough to see right there as he finishes in the wall here in Baku.
That's what I was talking about. Got to have that bravery. Make sure.
A little bit too much bravery, as some might say, as the battle on track right now is in 6th place with Spider and Triton. Spider having a big lockup as he's chasing Triton. He was right front wind gearbox, as some might say, but locked up and just no pace right behind him. And he's fallen down to 2nd as this race has just kind of separated off after that opening lap chaos, and everyone's just trying to take it easy and try not to retire at the earliest stages of this race.
It's definitely going to be a war of attrition, almost like an endurance race. I mean, it's an endurance race at breakneck speed, but really just have to pick your lines. Be as careful as you can, and try not to lose as much time to the person in front of you. It really just comes down to that. If you can keep it that simple, then you should be doing all right, and just kind of let your strategy do the work for you. A lot of patience.
Patience is the key. Remember, to first finish, you must finish yourself. And that's what these guys' driving style is now showing, as Kingy is the first one to dive into the pits. On those ultra softs, Kingy in 3rd place. So is he going to try for one? Is he going to try for a very interesting undercut to some idiot and Mud? in front of him.
Well, it looks like Triton and Intergalactic Gentlemen are starting to link up together. They are teammates.
Yes, the Haas team getting very close. A few American flags around the Azerbaijan circuit, especially in turn 1. There's a giant American flag right there on some camera angles. So a lot of support for the American drivers. But look at this, Triton and Z-Wall getting close together. Triton almost running on his gearbox, coming into turn 5, almost side by side as well. Out of turn 6. Hopefully they keep it into a single file line heading into the castle turns. But a big lockup on that right front. That is not healthy for y'all, for their tires. It's getting very close to Z-Wall through the castle turn. Keeping it clean through there. His teammate backing off, not wanting to be a part of that. And they're all scot-free entering sector 3 in turn 13, 14, and heading into 15. Will there be a move in the braking zone?
I wouldn't do it there, that's for sure. Looks like a bunch of lockups, though.
A bunch of lockups and a lot of carbon fiber on the outside of there. Wait, look at Z-Wall's front wing. Is that... I think he has damage, and yes, he does, as Triton dives down the inside of that stricken Mercedes, who I believe ran into that wall. Oh, and he runs into another wall right behind him. On turn 19 and turn 15, Z-Wall ran into the wall, lost cascade elements on his front wing, and he's diving into the pits right now.
Looks like Max is making a move here for 5th place. I take it back, he just took 4th.
Yes, he is. Max just sitting in the draft and launched himself in front, and didn't look like Intergalactic Gentleman had the best of exits in that corner as Max has now sailed past him. We're getting a lot of messages about yellow flags in sector 1. Oh, it's the Williams.
That was some idiot.
No, that can't be some idiot.
I think so.
No, that's Lundqvist.
That was Lundqvist, okay.
2 Williams in the race.
No.
Oh, speaking of Lundqvist, he's gone into the wall again. Ran wide on turn 6 exit, and he's hit the wall, and he's... Now that's a piece of wood for a front wing. There is absolutely no downforce being provided by that wing right now.
Speaking of no downforce being provided by wings, driver of the day is a thing now.
Yes, there is. In lap 20. Links will be shared to the poll, so where y'all can vote for your driver of the day for the American F1 League here in AOR. Getting the fans involved is something we are certainly for today. And just all experiences.
If you don't mind, can you link that, please?
I will link to that in chat right now. The poll hasn't opened, but it will be here for you. Boom. Oh, were you talking in Discord?
No. In the YouTube chat, if you don't mind.
Alrighty.
Live.
Well, it's in
Live. That should be going live here pretty quick.
lap 20.
So
It's lap 6.
Keep your eyes on that. I was being informed that we're going to be going live here soon. So, yeah, just want to give you guys a heads up. Keep that link handy for when it goes live. You can vote for your own driver of the day. And as of right now, I don't know. It's been a rough race for everyone except kind of for some idiot.
Yes, it is. Some idiot just having a commanding lead. Nothing very dramatizing about it. He is 13 seconds ahead. Now, if he does continue this pace, he might be able to pit and stay in the lead if Mud pits with him, as we got a yellow flag in sector 2. But Kingy AV is back into another fight.
Oh, some idiot's in the pits.
5 laps where these tires should go. Let's go on board with Mud. Does Mud dive into the pits or does he stay out?
He's staying out.
He is staying out. Some idiot switching onto the soft tires. Where does Mud and some idiot come out? It looks like it's going to be Mud sailing past some idiot right there and inheriting the lead as some idiot is coming out in P2. Just a few seconds ahead of Kingy AV, who just overtook Max KZR Racing for P3.
Look at Max right now. Yeah, he is looking very strong. He just ran with the Super Softs. He just put Super Softs on. And we should also note that some idiot has put softs. He's got the yellow wall tires on.
Yeah, some idiot going for that longer one-stop strategy, trying to extend his tire life all the way to the end. And with that early pit stop, I don't know if that was the right choice. Maybe he could have gone a little bit longer, but knowing some idiot, he might have calculated this strategy to perfection as we're following the battle for third of Max KZR Racing and King AV. So going into the 5-second stop go penalty for Lundqvist for speeding in the pit lane is something you do not want to do.
Yeah, especially at this track. There really isn't a lot of places to make up a lot of time here at Baku. I said it before, we got to say it again. It's all about making sure that you don't miss your marks. Got to hit those braking points. Got to hit those apexes properly. And another thing, as these tires wear out, you got to be very easy on the gas.
Yeah, speaking very on point. Look at some idiot. He's already caught up to Mud. And Mud's already positioning himself to go into the pits right now. But some idiot, after going to the pits 2 seconds down on Mud, he's already caught up to him and retaking the lead in just one lap. What a lap by some idiot. And what a pit strategy too.
Well, the Ultra Softs must have been going away, and at some point you have to make the decision. Do I want to lose some time on the lap, or do I want to just pop into the pits, get those fresh ones on, and go out and have the fresh tires for when everyone else hasn't quite pit yet? Well, some idiot, like you said, calculated it perfectly, and he knew when that car started to slide around a little bit too much, it was time to come in, because they were going to heat up and they were just going to get worse.
Yeah, some idiot calculating strategies is, some might say, his profession and high point in driving. And honestly, he's pulling on a little showcase here on how to drive an F1 car. And just, oh my goodness, there's a crash in the castle section. It's Lundqvist, his teammate.
Oh, again?
Yes, Lundqvist is in the wall, as well as Spider is in the wall. Spider in P7. Out of turn 3, I believe, is in the inside wall, just waiting for everyone to get past him. But we got 2 crashes on track.
Spider's underway.
Yep, Spider's out of the way. Lundqvist is already moving on as well. Almost a chaotic collision between both Williams, but some idiot managed to get his car out of there safely as Pranky. Oh no, he's in the wall as well.
Ouch. Oh, Lundqvist hit the wall too.
Lundqvist! Oh my goodness, it's all happening in one lap.
We just saw it aerial style. That was a rough hit.
And Spider has left the session.
I have a feeling that Lundqvist Bro might have just cut one of those corners just a little bit too close and just barely clipped the wall. That would send the car careening into the opposite wall the way it did. Ouch. That's brutal.
That is a very hard impact. Hopefully he is okay, because there's no safer barrier on these tracks like you would see in most American tracks, but that certainly shooken a few things up in this race. Surprised we aren't seeing any safety car for all these incidents, but
well, they're generally off track and they're offline, so except for the castle section, which, I mean,
that is only one line through there. So we got another yellow flag in sector 1. And that might be Gentleman. Yes, it was Gentleman. He is missing a bit of his front wing if you go on to him right now as he's chasing down Z-Womp. But, he just goes straight on. As we were saying, during qualifying, that will happen going into turn 3. You will lock up and you will just go straight on.
Yeah, especially if you have DRS on.
Yeah, it's DRS and no downforce. As he's just lifting his Haas around the track, trying to get it safely so he can finish this race. 11 drivers left, so kind of want to keep the car going right now. No chance for an early retirement and easy points, but I don't think anyone will want that as he locks up. Oh!
Managed to keep it out of the wall.
Woo! Heart stopped just a little bit right there. I thought he was going into a wall. We were going to have another victim of Castle Turn.
This is actually the tricky part through here too. It's so
Yes, it
tight.
is. But look, speaking of Castle Turn, look at Mikey and Sakith, the battle for 9th. Mikey trying to find his way around Sakith, trying to dive his way down the inside, going into turn 15. I don't know if you want to make an overtake right there, Mikey. But he's keeping his car and front wing clean. This is about for 9th place we got.
Mikey being a little smart, giving Sakith some room. Now he's going to slipstream his way down the front stretch and through these sequence of corners. As long as he doesn't let that front end wash out, he's got to be careful with that. And Sakith looks like he's got quite a bit of speed and trying to break the slipstream.
Yeah, Sakith defending the inside. Mikey going around the outside. They're going to be side by side going into turn 1. Is Sakith going to be smart? Yes, he is. He doesn't want to risk any incident right there. Oh!
Just clips the wall.
He still has the wall. But no damage on his front wing.
Just
So
a little bit of a clip. That was just looks like he just grazed it with the tires more than anything else. Looks like he's tracking okay though, based off of what we can see from the cam.
Yes, it is. He's just sitting. He increased that gap as some idiot just sets a blazing lap time on those stall tires of 142.223. And honestly, there's no one else that can touch him. Car in second of Kingy is 4.6 seconds behind him.
Kenyon and Max look like they're getting kind of close. Really, everybody's fairly spread out at this point, and it's really all about strategy at this point. You have to kind of relax, especially through the middle part of this race, and try not to burn too much fuel, but you also want to burn enough fuel so you're not too heavy at the end. Run into that before here at this track, because it's actually fairly easy to save fuel if you kind of have an idea as to what you're doing. Someone is...
He DC'd. His car is just a driving ghost on the track.
Oh, Spider. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Before I switch up and confuse myself. Actually, just watching Sakith right now is putting in quite a race, just keeping it clean, keeping it smooth. Probably one of the smoothest drivers here. He may not be the fastest, but man, is he smooth.
Yeah, Sakith has that driving style that some might call putting a knife through butter, just smooth all around. Not the fastest way, but it is definitely one of the smoothest driving styles we have in the NA League, as he goes on for another lap. 11 out of 26 here in Azerbaijan, almost reaching that halfway point.
Look around the field a little bit. Oh, that's a beautiful aerial view here of Mud making his way down the front stretch.
Mud sitting in 4th, 12.4 seconds behind a Max KZR Racing, who is in the pits right now. He went 11 laps on those super soft tires. So pulling out those tires the extra distance. As let's take a look at the biggest movers so far of today, and that would be Max KZR Racing, who is up 9 places from where he qualified. So Sharkbank 98 sitting up 8 places. As look at Max right now. He just came out right behind Triton right now. He just came out right behind Max KZR Racing, who just came out of the pits. Triton does have DRS going down the inside. Heading into turn 3. Don't lock up! Ooh.
That's close.
Woo. Woo.
Breathe, buddy. Breathe. Breathe. It's okay.
almost disastrous collision between Trenton and Max KZR Racing. Max, driving a very beautiful race today, moved up 9 places from when he qualified on those fresh, super soft tires. He did qualify outside the top 10.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of help, but honestly, just being able to make those tires last as long as he did is absolutely fantastic, number one. Number two, just being able to keep his nose clean through a lot of the insanity that ensued throughout the first half of this race. It's definitely something to watch out for, as if Max is able to get a little bit more speed in qualifying, he's going to definitely be a weapon and a potential challenger for some idiot.
Well, Triton just had a big lockup again heading into turn 15, and he's lost his front wing. His front right wing as he hits the wall again going into turn 19. So, after having a little bit of a battle with Max KZR Racing, he's going to have to dive into the pits and repair. Oh, he's staying out. Why?
Well, let's see how he does around the track here. He's locking up just a little bit. Which corner did you say? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There it is.
Yeah. He's hit the wall on turn 15, turn 19. And I guess he's just staying out for pride and not wanting to do a early 2-stop, 3-stop with just a stop to Z-Womp, who's behind him, but he's toward. Oh no!
Ouch! Yeah, that's what happens when you try to cut the corner just a little bit after not being able to brake as hard as you think you can. You just clip the inside of the wall and slam bang. Yeah, that's pretty much a destroyed car.
Yeah, that both front wheels are not attached. The front wing's gone. And yeah, that's a race over for Triton as his car despawns as Z-Womp inherits 5th place. He'll be happy about that after having a little bit of an incident during qualifying, as he is just driving through right now, as we got 10 drivers left in this. Oh, Z-Womp having a bit of lockup in this race today.
Yeah, this one a definite race of attrition. It's actually a lot more attrition than I thought there would be, but honestly, just surviving at this point would net you some points, which honestly,
everyone driving right now has points.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is, you know, you've shown up, now you have points. That's pretty much all you really had to do, other than keep your nose clean. So, honestly, all they have to do is finish. They've gotten through half of the race. Let's finish it out.
Yeah, speaking of finishing out, we got a little battle for 6th place right now. Some people aren't. Some people are not done. And it's Mikey and Sharkbait 98, 2 fresh tires. Mikey on the ultra soft tires. Sharkbait on the fresh soft tires. So they're heading down turn 20.
Oh.
Mikey sitting in that slipstream. They're side by side on the straight. Sharkbait 98 on the inside, Mikey around the outside. Will there? Oh, Sharkbait, I thought he was going to go for it, but no, he just let Mikey through right there, not wanting to have a massive collision, taking both of them out of this race. During turn 3, turn 2, Sharkbait opens up DRS as he just follows behind of Mikey.
Honestly, at this point for Sharkbait, just hang out there. You're getting some points. No need to push it. Just make sure you nail the lines. And I mean, if you do end up catching the person in front of you, I mean, you might as well try to make the pass. But still.
Oh, there's Z-Womp. That's Z-Womp in the wall. Mercedes driver as he makes a 3-point turn against the wall and the other wall. And back on track. He's lost 2 places after that mistake and a bit of his front wing as he's lipping his car back into the pits. Hopefully he will have a clean return to the pits and not have any more collisions.
And he can't cut the track either. Saw him do that. I don't know if the game picked it up or maybe let him go because he was going so slow. But into the wall he goes.
Oh no! And Z-Womp is in the wall and pulled over to the side, and there's the front wheel just sitting on front, and another one bites the dust. Tough race. 9 drivers left in Baku Battle Royale.
Baku Battle Royale. Yeah, that's it's not a bad analogy, I'll be honest with you, especially with the way the attrition has gone through in this race. Looks like Z3 Mikey has decided to jump in the pits.
We got a battle between Intergalactic Gentleman and Sakith. Sakith, this is his highest running position we've seen him in throughout the season. And he's defending from Intergalactic Gentleman, who dives down the inside. Late dive down to the inside. Hard on the brakes. No lockers from either driver. That is very good as they make it cleanly through turn 1. Into the back straight. Sakith now has the DRS, chasing down Intergalactic Gentleman, heading into turn 3. But they're on 2 different styles of tires. Intergalactic Gentleman's got the 5-lap old super soft tires, and Sakith's got the 12-lap old soft tires. And so there's just different grips, and they're just 2 different drivers on different strategies right now.
Speaking of tires, Kingi has 0 laps on his super soft. He just came out, but he's showed in 2nd place.
Yeah, the gap to 3rd must have been huge for him to do that and still come out ahead of Mud. So he will be very thrilled right now as he's on with 10 laps to go. He does have the tire life to go to the very end of this race, and I believe he was trying to do that, as some idiot on these 10-lap old soft tires does have the tire life to go to the end of the race. I've seen soft tires go around 20 laps here in Baku, but they start falling off around lap 15-ish. So later on this race, expect Kingi to start closing in on some idiot, probably make up that 25-second gap to the lead. As we have a message from Zewomp. Brush the wall and it just removes the wheel, of course. And was suffering from a bit of screen freezing.
Yeah, we're seeing that on stream too.
So hopefully, Zewomp, everything gets better for you as we head into Spain next week. You do get a point though, so there's a positive to take out of every situation. Their positive is you got a point. That's all I could come up with.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. You do have to make sure you stay away from these walls as much as possible. And I know, you want to push the boundaries a little bit, but really just got to be very careful around this track. And honestly, from our viewpoint, it didn't really look like you scraped, you just touched the wall. It looked like it was a little bit more than that. And then again, that's how it goes, a little bit of desync. So hard to tell, at least from our side, but luckily, you do have that 1 point to get you through till the next race.
Yes, it does. We're on board with Kingi AV as he's trying to lower this gap to some idiot. Ooh, got very close to the castle turn right there. Almost clipped the wall and nearly thrown that out of the back. But he has lowered some idiot's lead by a second already in 1 lap. Can he keep this pace up on these tires and be pixel perfect, as some drivers might be? But if we're talking about pixel perfection, some idiot has just been absolutely on fire today. No mistakes from what I've seen. Blazing pace and just right strategy calls currently. I'm not going to say completely because we still got half a race to go. So,
yeah,
gotta wait for that part until the very end. But Kingi just showing his pace, lower that 25-second gap now to 23.9 and sets the new fastest lap. So Kingi definitely on the charge, chasing down some idiot as he battles his way throughout these lapped cars.
Just to give you some perspective, we're looking at the fastest laps. Over a second, Kingi has beat some idiot's time. And at this point, I don't know if that's going to be enough. It's going to take either a mistake from some idiot or a pit stop in order to make this work for Kingy, but somebody has been encountering some lapped vehicles as well, so that could honestly be a little bit of an issue, assuming you can't get around them very well. And also, the lap cars really need to look out for those blue flags. We've seen it happen before, but blue flag cars get involved in the championship, if you will, just based off not being able to get out of the way in time. And honestly, this track is very tough to get out of the way as well. So penalties because of blue flags, at least at this track, I don't think are fair unless in certain situations.
Socket. As you were saying, that Socket has spun outside of turn 15 on the inside. He's been able to get it going again, but he's lost a lot of his front wing. But as you said, Kingy is on those fresh super soft tires. He does have the grip right now. Somebody is on 12-lap old soft tires, and he set that 142 about 11 laps to go. So his pace is slowly going away as Kingy's is just starting to go away very slowly, but they're on two different paces. Somebody setting 143s as Kingy will be setting 141s.
Oh, Socket into the pit wall.
In the pit wall.
Oh, that's brutal.
As he's whipping his car back into the pits.
It looks like he has actually just retired.
Oh, no, he parked it.
Yeah, it's parked.
They told him to stop. Well, at least positive for Socket. That is points for you. And you have a short walk back to your garage.
The team can wheel it back in, no problem.
And no safety car.
And no safety car, yes. Even better.
That is right. And now 8 drivers remain. May the odds be ever in your favor.
No kidding, huh? Oh, boy. We're taking a look at Intergalactic Gentleman right now, who is also on the Super Softs. Just, again, trying to make just a good race out of this, not trying to be overly flashy. I think a lot of these drivers that are still surviving, other than maybe Kingy or some idiot, maybe even Mud, kind of just realized that they need to survive more than anything else. Max KCR Racing was showing some definite speed a little bit earlier, but at this point he's kind of backed off, just trying to honestly kind of survive at this point. I don't think he really wants to go a lap down either, and you know, 40 seconds behind the leader at this point with 6 laps to go. It's possible he doesn't go a lap down, but at least he'll survive more than anything else. Guys, driver of the day.
That poll has now opened, and you can vote on your driver of the day with that link I just posted all over chat. So you can your driver of the day right now. When it opens.
When it decides that it really wants to open.
Oh, it's after lap 20.
Oh, it's after lap. Okay, well, it's about to open. So, guys, please join in the fun a little bit and vote for your favorite driver of this race. As we take a look at Max KZR Racing, who has, honestly, 9 positions gained.
Oh, it's open right now.
Excellent. 9 position gained here.
Oh, no!
What?
Gentleman has spun it after the castle's turn as Kingy AV is gaining up on him. Gentleman's still in the way of Kingy AV. I don't know if that... Oh, we got a BSC. We have a virtual safety car out on track with 6 laps to go.
What in the world?
I believe Intergalactic Gentleman had brought that out after spinning at the end of Castle Turn and brought out the virtual safety car. But look who's gone to the pits. Somebody has died into the pits right now.
Oh boy, here we go.
Somebody has died into the pits, and he's putting on a fresh pair of ultra soft tires. What a strategic move! As DRS is now as DRS is now enabled, somebody taking advantage of the virtual safety car and pitting for some fresh rubber and ultra soft tires. He's now 11 seconds ahead of Kingy AV, and I don't think Kingy Kenyon wasn't even near the pits at that time. Kenyon's still on those 5-lap old super soft tires as some idiot pits for fresh rubber with 5 laps to go. What a strategy by some idiot taking advantage.
I mean, you might as well. At that point, you might as well. The tires are falling off. Suddenly, there's a safety car, and you have plenty of gap, so you might as well take it. I mean, you're running at pit lane speed anyways. What's 3 seconds stopped?
What a brilliant strategy some idiot has had right here, as he's got all the grip in the world and probably going to go for the fastest lap a few times.
What do you say we go on board?
Yeah, we should go on board with some idiot. Driving with a pink and blue helmet. Force India is his favorite team, and his favorite driver is Sergio Perez. Fun fact you should know about the man in first. If you're wondering about his color scheme of choice.
It is a little bit odd considering he's in a Williams. That's just kind of where he ended up this season. But yeah, seeing the pink and blue on his helmet. He's running up to the line here.
Well, this won't be a flying lap, as some might say, because he just came out of the pits and a VSC was involved. So this will be his flying lap.
Right. So let's build up on this. Here is the target, a 141.171 set by Kenyon in second place. Okay, he has his fastest lap right now. The some idiot's fastest lap is a 142.223. So can he go faster than that at this point? Definitely. Will he be able to without wrecking his car? Is another story.
Another question. He did set a blistering lap time of 137.6 in qualifying. Yeah, so we know he has the pace. And it is the same setup from Parquet Firmware regulations.
Ah, that's true. Yes, that's a good point.
And he is carrying not a lot of fuel on board with only 4 laps to go. And he's just navigating that castle section all through these turns just with precision of not an idiot, as some might say.
I'm sorry, that one got me. But he's gaining time on Kenyon.
He is pulling away from Kenyon. Kenyon is on those worn super soft tires, but he does have the pace just to curb stomp this race into submission as he's entering this front straight. I'm thinking 140s.
I get it. Oh my goodness.
139.3. This isn't qualified. You don't have to go that fast. Wow.
Well, to be honest with you, what is he? That would put him a second, right, off of his qualifying time.
Oh, look at Sharkbait 98 and Intergalactic Gentleman on the straight, having a little bit of draft battle. Sharkbait just flies past the Intergalactic Gentleman, who just breaks extremely early.
A little sideways coming out of turn 1, though.
Yes, he is a bit sideways and a bit excited on the throttle. And Intergalactic Gentleman just taking it very easy after being overtaken. A lot of these drivers are taking it easy. Oh, look at his tires. 12 laps on those super soft tires. And Sharkbait's on 3-lap old super soft tires. So that explains most of it, as they are all a lap down from 5th to 8th. Yep. You know,
Sharkbait is really letting that back end hang out quite a bit.
That is very interesting to watch on Sharkbait. His throttle may not be the most controlled, but he is riding that rev limiter a lot. Watch him as he exits this turn right here.
Take a look at him right now.
Well, that.
Oh God.
Yeah. Almost clipped the wall, but he just barely missed it.
Yeah, no, you gotta shift quite a bit earlier.
Oh, another big tailfish moment for Sharkbait right there. His rears are not happy right there. They are fresh tires, but we have a move coming up for P3 right now. Max KZR Racing has brought it all back to mud. in the closing laps, this could be a race for the last podium position, as they're racing it down the front straight. They have a lap car in front of them, I believe. Oh, that's just the ghost car, the Spider.
Yeah. Bud's not quite sure what to do with that ghost car, too. I think he finally realizes
he's just going straight through him.
Oh.
As Spider just makes it smooth.
Pass.
Oh, and it. Oh, Max.
Close.
Getting very close. Locked up the braces a little bit, but kept it clean. That is the main part with these few laps remaining. Big lockup from Max again, but keeping this car in rotation as he's chasing down Mud.
Just a little bit of a lockup there. He's got to be careful on that. And honestly, he's getting a little bit of the dirty air there from Mud, so it might be just washing the front end of the car out a little bit. So you got to place your car a little bit differently when you're trying to approach these corners and be as quick as possible. That's the hard part, to be honest with you, as they enter the castle corners.
Yes, enter the castle corners. You want to be as smooth as possible and not try for an overtake, because honestly, if you did, you're nuts. And luckily, we haven't seen any of that today.
Yeah, pretty much, honestly. Luckily. We've seen some aggressive racing at the Azerbaijan circuit, but honestly, at that point, I think everyone's kind of understood that you don't do anything there. You go through, you make sure you make it through safe, and then you continue your battle.
Yeah. And yeah, Max is definitely flying, sitting in that slipstream of Mud, looking for that overtake. Mud weaving around the front straight. I don't think that's legal, buddy. Finally decides on a line, but weaving on that entire straight to keep Max KZR racing behind him. I think the trip to the stewards might be in store for Mud after that. What do you... Oh, there he goes again.
I don't know if
he's
I
diving
want to commentate on this, because we've had the issue before here at AOR with it in a different series. There are rules specifically outlined in that series in order to figure out situations such as this. So, technically, if we were to go by that series' rules, Mud would end up having to be penalized, assuming that Max actually does report it.
Yeah, that's if Max reports it, but Mud, nothing in Mud's way from making 2 moves on the straight, but that was 3. Yeah. And going by the F1 rules, I am not sure, so might have to have a chat with Mud about his straight line antics.
Now, unless let's see if he's having issues with the car at this point. We're on board with Mud. Let's see how he looks.
17 laps, almost soft tires. He is nearing the very end of that tire lifespan. Diving down the inside of turn 19. I'm watching from Max's view. Mud diving down to the inside, swooping back out, diving down. He's just doing that?
He's just doing that. Like, usually you can tell when someone's having some issue when the car is starting to kind of jerk around a little bit, or if the wheel is starting to move in an odd way. It's not doing that at all. He is smoothly making those transitions from the inside to the outside of the track. And that's, I'm not a steward. I want to make that clear. I am not a steward at all, but if I were a steward and that was reported, I would give him a penalty.
Yeah, that isn't our job, but I've noticed a few things around racing. Somebody is making his last time around turn 15 and heading onto the front straight. Just a brilliant drive from the Williams driver from start to finish as he's making his way through the final few turns. Let's get on.
Yeah, we're watching him go through the final straightaway here. Somebody hit.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for his second win in AOR NA. It is Some Idiot.
Kingi coming up here, second place. We'll have to see where he ends up. He's also coming down the front stretch at this point. Fantastic race there for Kingi. I don't think he had any idea that he would end up on the middle step of the podium, going to the inside of the track as he crosses the line. Excellent drive. Even Mud
and Max KZR Racing coming up for a little drag race for P3. Unless some penalties might be incurred right here. But Max moved up 9 places from winning qualified as they both come across the finish line.
Time will run out.
Time has ran out. Some idiot takes the win. As here we are on the podium as some idiot lifts his fist in celebration as he takes another win here.
Fantastically done. Great strategy call there with the virtual safety car. Electing to grab some tires before Kingi could catch up. And, I mean, he found himself in a great spot, took advantage of it, secured the win. Well done.
Well done for some idiot. And Kingi AV. Max KZR Racing did do a very entertaining job. We had to look at Mud's driving style at the end, but currently he has P3. We will update you once we learn something about this. But here are your finish results. Finishing first and taking his second win is some idiot, followed by Kingi AV. Mud takes 3rd place and Max KZR Racing takes 4th, followed by Mikey, Sharkbait, Intergalactic Gentleman, Spider, Sakith, Z-Wop, finishing out the points. And 11th is Triton, followed by Pranky, Lundquist, Fluffy Dave at the very end of the field.
Very, very tough race. As Baku is one of those races that there's so much going on with the walls. If you're trying to race someone, your tire strategy, everything has to be taken into account. And I mean, you saw it. We had 9 finishers.
As we got a message from Spider, his power flickered away.
Oh.
And his wheel recalibrated, sending me into the wall.
Oh,
so,
that's brutal.
That is very brutal. Well, good news for Spider. Your car did finish. And that's 4 points. So, positives. Think of the positives.
Positives.
Think of the positives, as I think we should get some idiot in here, should we?
We'd have to switch over to the interview booth there.
And we shall do that.
Right. Yes, very well done by everyone. Unfortunately, there were quite a few non-finishers. That was tough. But to the ones that finished, very well done. Keep it clean and keep it calm, cool, and collected here in Baku. Very hard to do considering it is such a fast track. And just doing a fantastic job all around. Great strategy calls were needed to make that happen. Of course, some idiot had a great strategy call as, oh, look who decided to walk in the room.
Hello.
Oh, hello. I was just
so what's up?
Well, I was just going over that strategy call you made there at the towards the end of the race there when the VSC came out, and you decided to dive in for some ultra softs.
Honestly, to be totally dead honest with you guys, honestly, I mentally disconnected after Dave DNF'd. I felt like I was just fighting myself. Like, honestly, I didn't think we were going to have that much of a fight after Dave DNF because I thought he'd be the one who'd be closest to me. It's no offense to anybody by me saying that. It's just a case of I just have to fight myself. And believe me, I can fight myself pretty dang good. So.
Yeah, you probably know all your weaknesses.
So, I don't know. It's just, to be dead 100% honest, it felt like a hollow victory today. I really hope I have a good fight with Raven next week because he'll absolutely 110% keep me. So I don't know. The circuit's tough enough, so there's a partial fight in that as well. But I don't know. Just kind of kind of wandering mentally.
Well, hopefully you will be entertained next week in Spain. Anything you want to say to the rest of the drivers in the field before we hop off?
Congrats to everybody who finished. That's an achievement in itself because it's a difficult enough circuit.
have-
So congrats. I mean nothing when I mean nothing offensive at all when I say it. I kind of just mentally disconnected. It's
Well-
just a case of I'm out there and I don't mean anything bad by it at all. I just
I'm-
want to completely.
Might be able to cheer you up just a little bit. Our first driver of the day is, well, you, some idiot.
Oh, great, fantastic! Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
I might have considered Muddy or Kingy for that one though. They both deserve their podiums. Everybody deserved their high result that they got today. So
I personally voted for Max KZR Racing for just moving up from P13 to get to 4th place. That's just
that's a fantastic job. Yeah, give him driver of the day. He dug from all the way from the bottom.
Hey, you know, we didn't do the voting, okay? The people voted for this. They
pub-
wanted you
y'all-
to have this
The
honor.
public is wrong. The public is wrong.
Conspiracy theories galore here at AOR. Anyways, thank you, some idiot, for the good race, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Austin,
Alrighty.
what a race.
Yeah, a lot of race. Not a lot of finishers. Not a lot. I'm kind of held speechless after that race and the little gaps we've had. But with the VSC at the end, the strategy calls, and just the pure amount of chaos, I think we've had almost the same amount, just a bit, almost 50% of the field finished this race from the ones that finished. I'm counting Spider halfway in there because he wasn't physically there. So
Yeah.
7 finished, 7 DNF'd, 50-50. It looks like the end of the Infinity War, honestly, this grid.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
But we did kind of come into this expecting that a little bit.
Yes, we did.
And, you know, it does take a little bit of guts to actually slow yourself down, to realize that you're not in a race for position. You're in a race for, you're almost going up against the track and yourself as opposed to your competitors. And more than anything with a track like Baku, you just have to finish. If you finish, that's a great thing. Even if you were to finish outside the points and nobody crashed, you still finished a rough, brutal race. And everybody who finished today, hats off to them. And I want to thank you all for joining us tonight here on AOR. We're rounding out the weekend here in America. Next week, what do we have next week?
Spain.
We have Spain next week, and I'm not going to be here.
Aw.
Yeah.
Have fun, lone commentator.
Yeah, we'll figure something out for you guys, as I am also the streamer. But yeah, I have other priorities that need to be addressed, unfortunately.
Have fun in Vegas.
Shh.
Boo, boo, no stream, boo.
Right, exactly. But anyways, yeah. Thank you all for coming on out. Thank you, some idiot, for dropping on by. Austin, any last words?
No, not really. I hope you guys have enjoyed your weekend of AOR racing. And I hope you guys have a very great night or good morning.
Or afternoon.
Or afternoon, yes.
Yeah. We got viewers from around the world, man.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. All right, guys. We'll see you next weekend for action from Spain. Stay tuned for all of that and stuff.
Hopefully.